Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Pilates from home workout. So this one is a little bit different. It's Pilates in standing. So for this you don't necessarily need a mat, it's just having some space. We're not going to be getting down onto the floor, it's all going to be done in standing or half kneeling positions. So we're just going to do a few moves to begin with to get warmed up before we get straight in to the main content of the workout. So if you just start with the feet hip distance apart, circling those shoulders backwards just to warm up through the arms, remove any tension, especially if this is being done first thing in the morning, you're feeling quite stiff and need to loosen up. And just take a gentle knock in with the head and neck, bring that chin down to the chest and back up to the ceiling. And then building that into our spinal roll down, so tucking that chin right down, roll the shoulders forward, peeling through the spine, one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the floor, just holding on to opposite elbows there and taking a gentle rock from side to side, transferring the weight over from one leg to another. And back to the centre, releasing those arms as we stack the spine back up through the bottom first, middle and up to the top. Sweeping both arms out in front of you now, we're going to take some spinal twists. So opening through the right side, following it with the eyes, looking over to that back hand, thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades back. So you're opening through the front of the chest, front of the shoulder, and repeat on the other side. Breathing out as you go, breathe in to come back around. Once more on each side. And back round to the front, releasing those arms down, just going up onto the toes, just warming up through those ankles and feet. And then just rocking back onto the heels, really focusing on trying to lift all 10 toes up away from the ground, even if you can't get the forefoot away. Warming up through the front of the lower legs. And releasing back down there. Good. So we're going to come and find our starting position for the first exercise. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing here. So setting those legs hip distance apart, gently tucking that tailbone underneath you, squeezing through the glutes, lengthening through the spine. Take a gentle bend in the knees just so we're not locking back and hyperextending those knees. Hands come to the hips as we take a gentle forward bend. So we're hinging here at the hips, keeping the spine nice and long and straight. Going as far as we can feel we're allowed to before it should start to pull on those hamstrings, and standing back up again. So this is like a stiff leg deadlift exercise. So you might want to do it in front of a mirror just so you can check that that spine's nice and straight and we're not kind of curving too much here. Neck nice and long. And as we come to stand back up straight, really squeezing through those glute muscles. Lots of clicking going on at my knees and ankles this morning. Good, we're just going to do 2 more and then we're going to hold it in this forward bend position. Holding there at a comfortable position as we reach the arms up overhead. Keeping the back nice and straight, reaching through those fingertips. And bending through the elbows to bring the arms tucking close into the rib cage. We're going to sweep them down and back behind us, pinching the shoulder blades back together. Bend through the elbows, reach up overhead. bend and sweep them back and down. We're just starting to get the arms and shoulders involved here. And keeping good control, not losing that nice flat back position. Squeeze as the arms go back. Keeping a nice neutral neck alignment as well, so just focusing on a point on the floor, making sure the chin's not tucked down into the chest. Good, we're going to go for 2 more. Final one. And then just dropping those arms down in front of you where they naturally hang underneath the shoulders, making fists with the hand as we squeeze them back into a row position. So really thinking about squeezing those elbows up to the ceiling, pinching through the shoulder blades. Maintaining that nice flat back position, make sure we're not losing that. Now we're starting to feel that now into the lower back and upper back with the arm exercises. Elbows pointing up to the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Make sure you're just skimming the rib cage and side of the body as the arms go. Don't forget to breathe, always helpful. Okay, 2 more. And release those arms down, bringing the hands back to the hips as we bring ourselves back up into standing. And we're going to go back to our deadlift variant here. So resetting our posture if you need to, little bend in the knees, tucking that tailbone as we hinge forward at the hips, squeeze through the glutes to bring us back to standing. So these exercises as well, if there's anything that you like or you feel could be particularly helpful for you, you can take them away to do as standalone exercises and even adding in some weights. So some dumbbells or kettlebells are quite nice to use here, just to challenge those hamstrings a little bit more. Really good for lengthening through the hamstrings as well as strengthening them at the same time. Okay, let's go for 2 more. Final time, and bring us back up to standing. We're going to transfer the weight over to the left leg now as we push the right leg back behind us. So keeping the foot in contact with the floor, squeezing through that glute as the leg goes back, bring it back in. So you might want to take a little bend in the supporting leg like me. It feels easier just to push that leg back. So it's kind of as if you're skating in a bit of a skating motion. Trying to keep really stable through those hips. Not kind of twisting from side to side. So you just push the leg back and drag it back in. Back, drag it back in. Really squeezing that glute at the end of the movement, at that hip extension. Let's go for 2 more on this side. Bring it back in, resetting the posture as we transfer the weight over to the right side now, taking a little bend in that supporting leg, another click from the ankle, and then pushing back through the left this time. So really trying to get that nice extension at the knee, opening through the front of that hip, back stays up straight. Again, dragging that foot back along the ground. Easier probably to be done on a shiny floor like tiles or wood flooring so that you don't get any resistance from the ground underneath you. And it's challenging that supporting leg as well to stay up strong and tall. Good, let's just go for 3 more on this side. Final one. back in and reset the posture. Okay, we're coming into a little bit of a balance single leg work now. So if we go back to the left leg first, transferring the weight over to that left leg, you can bring the hands to the hips or to the chest or even out to the side if it helps with balance a little bit more. It's completely up to you. And then lift the right leg off the floor, take it back behind us, keeping that knee straight as we hinge forward at the hips again, as far as we can go, and then bringing it back up with control. So tipping forwards at the hips, just letting that leg fall back behind and back in. So challenging a lot of things here. Single leg strength in the supporting leg, balance, stability. So try and focus on the breathing. I normally inhale as we lower forwards, exhale to come back up. Let's go for 2 more. Final time. And back in, transfer the weight over. You might want to give that supporting ankle a little bit of a roll. It's been working hard, keeping the control of the exercise. Okay, so right leg supporting now. Left leg goes back behind, squeezing through the glutes, straighten knee. Hinge forwards at the hips. And back up. Just tipping the upper body forwards. And it's normal to be unsymmetrical here. If I'm one side harder than the other one. I definitely find that my right leg's not so good balance-wise, so it's a lot more challenging for me on this side. But it might be your easier side out of the two. Wait, nearly losing it there. Remember again, try some of the different arm postures. See what helps you and feels better for you. Okay, let's go for 1 more. And back up. And again, give that supporting leg a bit of a shake, a bit of a roll. Coming back round to the front now. We're going to go into our next side lunge exercise. So back to our starting posture, hands coming onto the hips. We're going to lunge out towards the right side even, the right leg. Hand comes, supporting arm comes down to the supporting leg as we take a nice side bend, reaching out through that left hand, reaching through the fingertips, then coming into a twist. So twisting the body down to point towards the leg on the floor. Open back up to the front. And we're going to bring the arm and leg back in at the same time. Lunging out to the other side now. Arm comes down to the leg, sideways bend. Twisting down to that leg, opening back up and bring it in, swapping sides. Good, over to the other side. Twist down through that body, open back up. Bring it back in. So think about when we're first taking the side bend, going directly sideways before we bring it round, so we're not collapsing forwards or back. We're going to go 1 more to each side. Getting that heart rate up now. And back in, back to the centre, bringing the hands to prayer position in the chest now. We're going to lower ourselves down into half kneeling and then back up to standing. So lowering the right leg down first, followed by the left leg. Right leg comes up, left leg comes up. So we're staying into like this mini squat position. You can speed this up if you want more of a cardiovascular workout, or keep it slow and controlled. Focusing on the movement. All the time trying to maintain that small squat position here, so we're not Coming up into full extension at the legs. Good. I'm going to go for 2 more rounds, and then we're going to hold into our squat position. Let's go 1 more because I've kind of lost my cycles there. And hold your squat there, turning out through those knees. We're just going to pause for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pushing up, releasing the hands. Oh, it's definitely got my heart rate elevated a little bit there. So that's bringing us to kind of the end of the build-up of the session. We're going to start slowing the intensity back down now with some stretches and mobility work. So coming to the end of the mat if you're using one, or end of your space. We're going to take a nice lunge forward with the right leg. Lowering ourselves down into this lunge, just holding it there, really thinking about opening through the front of that left hip. Then pushing up to extend the front right leg. Bring us back into a slight hamstring stretch. Option to lift the forefoot and toes up away on the front leg, or keep the foot flat if that feels more comfortable for you. Easing the body forwards towards that front leg. And then we're going to slowly bring ourselves back forward into that lunge position. Using the hands to transfer your weight round to the front of the room now, and turning out through that leg instead. So coming onto the heel, we're opening through to the front. Hold that there. Before we use the hands to crawl and transfer the weight across to the other side, so bring it over to the left leg. Again, opening through the opposite leg now, heel down onto the ground. Then using the hands to bring us round towards the left side. Into our lunge on the opposite side now, so opening through the front of the right hip. Nice deep breaths, helping to slow down that heart rate. And transferring the weight up as we extend through that front left leg, taking us into our hamstring stretch. Again, option to ease that front leg up onto the heel, and if that feels like a better stretch for you, we'll keep that foot flat. Working the body down towards that front leg. Releasing the head. Deep breaths into that hamstring. So we bend through that leg again to bring us back to our lunge. Holding that there for the final few seconds. Before we bring that back right leg in to meet the left leg now. Bring us back to kind of where we started in our forward bend, holding onto the opposite elbows and just taking a gentle rock from side to side. Releasing any tension out the arms or the head here, just letting them hang. Releasing the arms down, uncurl slowly through the spine, stacking it up from the lower vertebra, right up through the middle. Lastly to the top. Bring ourselves back round to the front just to finish with a few arm stretches. So we're going to circle both arms up overhead, clasping the hands, fingers together at the top as we take a gentle side bend over to the right side, just as far as you can control. Gently back up and over to the left. Slowly back up, repeating that again. Exhaling on the side bend, inhaling as you bring yourself back up to the center. Once more over. And back up to the top. Releasing the fingers now, Slowly circling those arms back down to the side of the body. And then again, circling backwards, releasing those last bits of tension. Tucking the chin gently down into the chest again, just as we did at the beginning. And then lifting all the way up to the ceiling. Letting it down for the final time. And slowly back up. And back to the centre. Brilliant, well done. That brings us to the end of this mini standing Pilates. So hopefully, like me, you'll feel that that was a good full body workout, really got the heart rate going as well, so working the cardiovascular system. Remember, as I said before, you can break the exercises down, add in your own weights, make it more into a circuit, working the arms with some weights and the lower body. Let me know any feedback or any questions. Feel free to drop me an email or a message, and hopefully you enjoyed the session. Have a great day. Bye.